Turn up the snare in my headphones.
Hey, turn up my snare, dog.
Cleaning out my closet.
Shady action.
A little Slim Shady.
Dang, I would have brought a mic if I knew you didn't have one. I feel bad.
It's fine. Like, you know.
Are people still able to hear you?
Yeah, I'll just talk.
Okay. He's going to talk.
I really need to say something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, we were talking about how you accidentally did acid last night. Can you please explain?
So, last night, unintentionally, I did acid for the first time, yes.
Well, how? How does that happen? How do you unintentionally ingest a hallucinogen?
Well, basically, if someone has it on their skin or, like, in their mouth, you know, like, just put the fucking tab in their mouth and they didn't fucking tell you, and then they put their tongue all in your mouth.
Which is obviously what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened. And next thing you know, you're going to sleep and you're seeing multicolors. You're seeing the whole spectrum. And you're thinking about how fucking NBA YoungBoy killed King Von.
So, have you ever experienced hallucinogens before?
Yeah, I've done shrooms. I've done DMT.
Really?
Yeah, I like tripping. I just was always like with acid.
With acid, yeah.
Because you never know, like, the source, because it's, like, human-made.
It is, yeah.
And I just heard, like, so many stories. So I'm not, like, opposed to it, but, like, that shit was fun, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what... Okay, so you said something about King Von. Andrew, didn't you know him? Wasn't he a friend? Vontae, okay.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of rappers have been dying lately.
Wait, do you know who King Von is?
I knew he died.
He's, like, the friend of Lil Durk?
Yes, and so when he died, I looked into the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I Shade Room, I went through all the way just
like,
to find
Quando
out.
Rondo, he tried to fight him, and then Lil Tim shot him up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's just, like, fist fighting, and then a homie's shooting you from the back and shit, because he's just serial killer minded.
Yeah.
But it was tripping me out last night, because I was like, damn, like, the power kind of switched over to, like, NBA YoungBoy and all them and shit.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, fuck, he's, like, dead. Like,
yeah.
He's dead. Like,
he's dead.
Like, that's some, like, Tupac Biggie shit all over again.
It's funny because it's not affected the culture as much as I thought it would, and maybe I just don't notice. I don't have my finger on the pulse, but it's weird. Yeah, a lot. And then, you know what I was thinking about on the way here is what happened with the shooting of the, what's his name? Takeoff? Did we ever get resolution on who killed him? Or is that just, like, over now?
I think, like, somebody, like, in his crew accidentally shot him, but I could be wrong.
Because nobody's talked about, like, who did it.
No.
So.
Life just goes on these days.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is fucking changing.
Yeah.
Like, somebody sent me, like, a little, like, basically they're doing aided suicides now.
Well, that's always kind of been a thing, like the Kevorkian theory, right? Or the Dr. Kevorkian.
Okay.
So he was the first person who wanted to make assisted suicide normal. And it's for people who are medically sick, who don't want to end up suffering for years and years. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of always been a thing. I think it was briefly legal in Washington, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
I thought it was just getting popular all of a sudden because everybody's like, oh, fucking COVID, we're all going to die anyways type shit. Or like getting like sad or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you never know. So what is what do you guys talk about? I've never heard another episode of this podcast.
Well, we like to talk about, you know, issues that are going on in this world, such as the orgasm gap. I'm sure you're aware of. Oh, well, not, but you know, it's a huge issue in this world right now. There's a lot of selfish men out there who just aren't as giving as, you know, the top 3%. They're just not on top of their game. They're just not even aware of certain things, and it's really tragic. It's just really tragic, you know, how many men in this country are unaware of the orgasm gap.
So, and I want to maybe do a little dive on this whole situation right now. I've never heard either one of you say that sentence and not seem like it was a joke. Is this a joke? Are you joking?
This is not a joke.
Okay.
No.
Does it just make you a little uncomfortable to talk about it? Because it's like, there's an orgasm. Like, it seems like it's all campy, but do you really believe that there is an orgasm gap? Like, you've heard it from women. No, I know for a fact there is, but I want to know, do you believe it? Do you...
Yeah, no, by the way that men act today in today's society, like they don't know how to act. They don't know how to be in control and be in charge and like lead women and give them the experience that they actually want.
And does that do you feel like you lead women? And
100%.
So you feel like you're not the problem?
No.
So does that extend past sex?
Yeah, it could be an emotional connection too. Like I was saying, I don't like to just pull up somewhere and just put my dick in some random chick. Like, you know, I need that connection to where we have to either like just vibe on a certain level, whether it's like the way that we joke together or just the how we interact with each other, how we talk to each other.
The overall chemistry.
Yeah, it has to be there. I think it's super important. It's not just physical.
So what is, do you want me to wait, Daniel? So what is Black Cherry?
Black Cherry Agency is not just about OnlyFans.
Okay.
It's like what he was saying right there. It was like, okay, fulfilling the orgasm gap, like closing the orgasm gap, like just being more open-minded individually as men, being more dominant, you know what I'm saying? Being more generous, if you will.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys these days are just like afraid to like step up and be men because they're afraid like, oh, like I'm going to catch a charge or oh no, she doesn't like that. She likes nice guys. Like they fell into the whole like trap, basically.
Yeah.
The whole like feminist trap to just literally like demasculate men.
Right.
So we're just bringing that back.
So I will speak as a female raised in the society. I was very sensitive to the idea of toxic masculinity. Like, I don't want a man telling me what to do. I don't want to be taken care of. And then I started dating an alpha male and my whole perspective changed because it truly is a completely different experience. So I feel like girls, I've seen this too, where they're like, oh, I don't want a guy. I want a guy that cries. I want a guy in touch with their emotions, right? And then you have a man cry in front of you, and you're like, ew.
You never want to fuck him again.
I don't want to fuck you.
Ever.
But in their minds, they think like, oh, well, men should cry. But like, they don't want to fuck a guy that cries. And I feel bad for men because truly the burden of manhood, it's heavy, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of like the women are trying to tell guys like how to behave or how they want them to act because it's truly like what they think they want a guy to act like, but it's not because it like the crying example, like once that happens, like all respect is gone. Like and as you were saying, up until you dated an alpha male, you probably didn't realize like how much you actually respect that man in your life.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I kicked so many dicks in the dirt.
Yeah.
Seen like so many guys cry.
Like you saw it as like a bad thing.
Right.
When really like he's leading you, you know, in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. The thing about like the crying thing.
And that's just like a blanket example. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I never feel like I need to cry. Like, I don't think guys need to vent like that. Like, it's more just like, just be like fucking real. Like, you know, a lot of guys are just like bottling up shit. Just fucking speak your mind. Like, don't be afraid to like say that shit, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and be real with girls. I think that's what girls mean when they're like, I just want him to like open up.
Right.
They just want a guy to be real.
Right.
You know, and not like scared to feel.
Right.
Right, but like they want him to be in his masculine though, and like actually lead. You know what I'm saying? But
it's a spectrum too. Like, you know, there's very, very masculine guys, and then it kind of goes through, you know, the whole layout of it. So, I mean, and I hope that it doesn't sound like I don't want men to show their emotions because I do. You know, I want a guy to cry, but don't do it in front of me. Well, you know?
Yeah, and you can be in balance with your feminine and masculine at the same time, and still know like where that line is without crossing it. And, you know, Alexis, let me cry on your shoulder.
Yeah. Like, you could cry on me. I don't want to have sex with you, so you can cry all you want, you know, but it is, you know, it's hard. But
so you're in denial?
Of what?
Every girl wants to have sex with this man.
Well, we're friends, you know, so.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you're not sexually attracted to him.
I hope that's not offensive to you. I wasn't trying to be rude, but I don't want to have sex with anybody for the rest of my life except for the guy that I'm with.
Okay, I got that.
And I'm in love with him.
No,
but
I got that.
I totally respect Andrew, and, you know, I think you're
I respect how sexy he is.
Yeah, totally. I think objectively he's quite handsome.
He must have done something in his past life that was good.
Totally.
To get these genetics
a gladiator or maybe a cheetah, you know, rolling through these people. Yeah, so what do you guys want to accomplish with Black Cherry? What you still didn't totally answer the question. So it's more than OnlyFans management.
Oh, for sure it is, yeah.
But what else is it?
Well, going back to the 10 to 15 thing and the orgasm gap thing, that goes deeper than just, like you were saying, just like the physical, right? It's definitely deeper than that. It's like who you're being and how much you're connecting and how, like, unafraid you are to go deep with a girl, you know?
No pun intended.
And like know yourself, and like how much you love yourself as a man and how much you know yourself. Like, you can't connect deep on that level and actually give girls 10 to 15 orgasms if you're all in your head worried about what they think about you, you know, and what everybody thinks about you. You need to be comfortable with yourself under any circumstances.
And let me ask you guys a weird question.
Yeah.
How long have you known Daniel, Andrew?
I feel like 10 years.
10 years? But you've actually been, like, hanging out with him for what, like a year? 6 months?
Like a year.
How much do you feel like your general state of being has changed since you've been around Daniel? Because I got to tell you, this is, you know, I hope this doesn't sound gossipy. I've had a couple people message me and be like, what happened to Andrew? Like, is he on drugs? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Is he drinking again? I'm like, no, he's not. He's, you know, I think he's trying out different, you know, avenues of expressing himself on the internet, right? I mean, that's
with
part
like
of it.
the crazy naked girls on my story.
With the naked
type of
girls and stuff like that. Like, you're kind of showing out in a different way than you used to be, right?
What, you never used to do this shit?
I mean, I always kind of showed like crazy shit on my story and stuff. But there was a point to where I felt like a little repressed, like I wasn't like going all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going all out, so I kind of was like compensating for that. And then that got my account shut down, and that was kind of a phase where I just wanted to like, that was a little more of like me seeking some sort of validation.
Right.
At the same time, like promoting what we're doing. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it wasn't like 100% like true to my character.
Right.
Because
What part?
just like how much I was trying to be put this image out, like
The content. I'd say like prior
like
to
when
the
I'm putting
Instagram getting deleted.
like Kayla's titties on my story, like type stuff.
Yeah,
like
but that's marketing, bro.
but
It's
like
not even like, oh, like trying to get validations, like.
Well, I mean,
You know,
he's
there-
speaking
you
from
know,
his
you
personal
get-
feelings.
no,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I feel now looking at that, like, oh, it's a little try hard, but then like I said, it's a little bit of showing like what we're doing. So it's like the hard part is like finding that balance.
Where it feels natural and real, I guess.
Yeah.
Bro, let me say something. First of all, you already have you get too many girls. You can't balance that.
Yeah,
like,
but
there's
his Instagram is not for girls.
exactly, but
It's for guys.
He's like
showing
exactly.
off to dudes,
it's
right?
marketing,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also weeding out girls who can't handle who he is. So it is being more real too. And the way that I look at it is it's marketing, and it's going to make his time free up because he's not going to have like 20 girls to juggle. He can't like literally give his energy out to all these girls. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the time now he wants to just like bust a nut on camera because it's just going to go into the fucking abyss of just some girl off camera, you know?
Right. Did it die?
I don't know. I don't know what it did.
Did you plug it in?
It's oh. Did I not?
But you get my point on that?
Yeah.
It's like too many girls want his attention. He can't give them all his attention and his nut. That he needs to fucking go after his business and shit like that. So he might as well get that shit on camera. If that's gonna give him extra money or like some like, you know, scene that could make more money in the future that could help his upward spiral. You know?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So like that's kinda how I look at that. Yeah, to be honest, him posting that shit will hurt him. Get him less girls. Because it's like he said, it looks try hard.
But I also think it's kind of like, it's almost intriguing, I think,
Yeah,
to girls.
for
They'd be like,
sure.
well, he's fucking all those girls. Well, maybe I should fuck him too.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's good for social proof, but I'm saying he doesn't need social proof.
Right.
Because he's already like 6'3", fucking good looking. Like, girls hope he doesn't know his value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I post girls and shit, they're like, oh, okay, what's up with this dude? He's 5'8", doing this. It's different. It's like, wait, he must have something else besides like looks.
Yeah.
So now it's more intriguing.
Yeah.
So that's why I just do that shit. I put that shit up, but yeah, it's like it's not a good game for him.
Right.
Like, good game for him is, like, call himself Bloomy, which is, like, kind of feminine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it balances out the fact that he's scary and fucking big and shit.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Or, like, show his personality and his humor.
Yeah.
You know? I don't do that shit. Like, I keep my shit, like, I don't know, like, masculine. Like,
manic.
Yeah. Manic?
Yeah. It's a little manic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that.
Like, I mean,
that's not what I was saying, but I feel you on
know.
that.
But masculinely manic, manically masculine.
Yeah, just always polarizing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's intense. It's all day long.
Yeah. I don't really do that shit that much anymore, though. Like on the Black Cherry shit, I won't really talk that much. Because I know, like, it's not the brand.
Right.
You know? But I still have YouTube for that outlet.
Yeah.
We have this now, too.
Yeah.
So.
Working out some kinks.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think where we left off was I was talking about how the internet has been like, what happened to Andrew? Where did he go? You know, and
I got banned, but I mean, I've always posted crazy shit though.
Yeah.
Like I've always done that. And then like I haven't even put my, I guess, recent ideology even out to the world. So I don't think anyone is like, oh, Andrew, you're different. I don't think they could say that genuinely. I feel like what does that mean?
I think it's just people who have seen your stories and then been like, what is he? He's like posting people blowing each other and like, you know, they're just tripping out on like what you've been posting on your Instagram story.
Yeah. And I think that sex should be something we can freely talk about.
Yes.
And something we can go like, it's so weird and taboo. And that kind of makes it fun because it's like, oh, it's this naughty thing.
Right.
But it's really about opening people's eyes up to like, this is what happens in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I started posting a little more crazy stuff because I got bored and I like pushing people's buttons. I like getting a reaction out of people. If I post something and I notice like 10 people unfollow me, I like that.
Yeah.
You know? But it's
like
kind of that, kind
attention.
of like Daniel was saying, it eliminates the people out of my life that don't really fuck with me. Like if they're gonna fucking unfollow me because I posted something, like, and then they really don't know my character. So It's like, that is kind of a tool that I'll use to like push people away that aren't supposed to be in my life.
Well, I think one thing that I like about you, Daniel, is when someone opposes you, you don't just tell them to fuck off. You're like, let me tell you why you're wrong. And I think that's what I like about the way you handle like criticism.
Or like, let me be open-minded and try to see from your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that is a really good way to, you know, get people on board with your ideology, which back to my question, what is Black Cherry? So it's an ideology?
Yeah, it would be more like a way of living.
It's a way of living. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a cult yet.
Right. But that would be the goal.
Yeah, the goal. Yeah.
It's always the goal.
That's where it's like, you know, growing into kind of, but it's more just like a way of living. It's a mindset.
Right.
It's really just a mindset. It's like, why are we repressed? Why are we like pointing fingers and saying this person's bad, this person's bad? He made a good point when he said, oh, that kind of makes it more fun, like, you know, like the church and whatever,
the taboo
like
aspect.
You know, we wouldn't have like sexy clothes if we didn't like cover up our bodies, if we were still Adam and Eve. So that's what makes the whole game fun. Like, oh, this is bad, that you're guilty if you do this, like pointing fingers, like you could play with it like that. But and then also that makes him into a great entertainer as well, right? And then it helps marketing because you could just like play with the duality, if you will, of like good and evil or whatever. But at the end of the day, like our main message or our mindset about all of this is like the repression is what's killing people. You know, just like feeling guilty about a natural act. And once you've had tantra or you've given somebody 30 orgasms, for example, and you're healing their trauma and you see them change and all that dense energy like gets wiped away, you're like, bro, isn't this what they say that Jesus Christ does? Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like the orgasm energy, if you will, is like kind of like Jesus. It's like Christ consciousness, if you will. It's like what connects us to like higher power. And a lot of girls are like, I've never done this. This is too intense. They get stomach aches when they have too many, you know, orgasms in a row and stuff like that. It's because they have all this trauma locked in, and that's, you know, where like cancer rates go up and shit like that. And like, You know, you have all this repression that turns into like perversion and like, you know, fucked up ways of being and like people like liking weird sexual things. And I mean, there's nothing really weird sexually, but they get like indulgent, you know, and that's where the problems stem from.
And then is the compulsive too sometimes.
Compulsive, yeah, exactly. And so like, and I feel like that comes from just feeling like trapped because you can't do something because you're going to get judged. And then that's also what stops people from actually feeling love, like during sex or whatever, because monogamy is so scary. Like monogamy is like, holy fuck, like I'm trapped now in this. Like, oh, if I catch these feelings for this person, like now I'm gonna be jealous and checking their phone, and it's just like a huge like leap into something that's should be so free, beautiful, and easily accessible for all of us.
Right.
So, we're actually dropping a multiple orgasm course.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do like a mindset thing of like how we kind of like deal with girls and like our, you know, how we're non-judgmental towards women and just like the way that we think. We're gonna have another course on that as well. And we're gonna combine that with the OnlyFans thing. You know, so it's not just OnlyFans, because we don't really have too much of a message behind the OnlyFans thing. Like the OnlyFans thing, like it's cool, like, you know, some money, yeah, like, you know, being sexually free or whatever. But it's not like the main like mission, if you will. Like deep down, it's a mindset thing.
Right.
So.
And it is a way for women to express themselves, right? The OnlyFans thing.
100%.
And to have fun and make money.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to what you said earlier about not being judgmental towards women. Is that something for both of you that you've always felt? Have you always felt non-judgmental? Or is that something that like over the years you've kind of had to retrain your thinking?
I've never been judgmental because I was raised by a woman. Like,
well, I mean, you could be raised by a woman and still be judgmental, because I think and by judgmental, I mean like, oh, she's such a slut. You've never thought that?
I've never seen that as like, oh my God, she's a slut.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had that thought.
That's why he's been good with girls.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I'm like, oh, I hope she's a slut.
Yeah.
Like, I've never, like, no, yeah, that's a huge thing, I guess. Like, it's like stems from a lot of guys' insecurities too. Like,
oh, absolutely.
You know, it's like kind of like, kind of like the body count thing. Like, I've never been like, oh, what's your body count? Or that's like, this has never been a thing in my head. It's about the experience with that girl, like in that moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about like, oh, where have you been? Like, I'm gonna judge you. I'm gonna, like, that's none of my fucking business.
Where are you gonna be after this?
Yeah, it's none of my business. It's about like right now being in the moment and giving her a good experience, you know?
So that's one thing that, you know, I know you guys like Andrew Tate, right?
No. Well, I like his work ethic, his masculinity. I hate his judgment towards women.
Yeah,
and he's stuck in the old ways.
Yeah.
He's stuck in the old ways. But see, that's the thing, though. A lot of like red pill guys these days think that we need to go back, right? Kind of like we need to go back to religion and stuff like that. But they don't understand that the universe changes and it molds and it shapes. And we go left, then we go right. Then we go left. We're going left right now.
Everything's a pendulum, yeah.
And they're fighting against the stream, and they don't realize that they're gonna get overrun anyways. But their soul just wants that experience of like, okay, like let's fight for, you know, the old ways, like keep it the same. Just like people that are gonna be like trying to revolt against the government and shit like that. They're just like, it's just their soul wants that experience. It's cool. But I just know yin and yang, no, things are moving more towards more freedom and stuff like that. And yes, it will end in chaos and disaster at some point, but that's the way it's meant to be.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. So I'm not fighting against the stream. I fuck with Andrew Tate, yes, but there's just some things that I think that he needs more awareness on. But maybe he's not meant to in this life to have that awareness, and that's totally fine. But I don't follow anybody's ideology.
Right.
I take a little piece from everybody here and there because I don't think anybody has all the answers.
Yeah.
And there is no answer. It's just like
that's the thing. There is no
answer. Just
that's
live
the
your
weird
life.
Part, and that's the hard part for some people to accept.
Yeah, accept that shit, because like at the end of the day, you're gonna be looking for like religions and people. You're gonna believe people when they tell you they know what happens after you die, and then now you're in a cult.
Right.
And there's just a million fucking cults trying to take your attention.
Which is the goal. Once again, we're trying to start a cult. So if you're going to join one, join this one.
Well, this cult would be like, be your fucking self. Listen. listen to your heart and listen to your desires and like what you actually want. Because at the end of the day, like everything fits into the painting of life. But if you ain't happy, then like nobody else is gonna give a fuck if you're happy.
Right.
You know, and yeah, challenge yourself. Don't just, you know, it's not all pleasure. That's another thing. It's not all pleasure, obviously, but it's not like Andrew Tate, like all work, all grind. And also this motherfucker says he has like over 1,000 lay count, but then he judges women.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And so it's that double standard of just, well, that's like, oh, because I'm a dominant man, like I get to live like a king, but she doesn't, right? And these girls don't. They just have to like, because, you know, their value drops because of their past and because guys want paternity. But the way that I think about the paternity issue, because if Andrew Tate was right here, this is what he would bring up, is basically the fact that we live in a society that broke us up anyways. So we have the nuclear family. It's like, oh, this is my wife, this is my kids, my picket fence, my house. That was done by design to separate us. Back in the day, we were all in tribes. And every man and woman was a mother and a father to the whole community. When a kid was like growing up, he would go and actually have like, this is in Mesoamerica, they would actually have an assigned woman that would teach the boy about his sexuality. And he wouldn't have sex with her right away, but literally like when he's like 14, he's having sex with an older woman. You know what I'm saying? This is literally the teachings of Kodushka. They'd actually teach the kids this shit. And it's like, and then he would have like multiple elderly men in his life to be a mentor and a role, a model for him and actually like look at that. But in this society, we just have like one father, one mother. So then obviously at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to want her to only have kids with your seed.
Right.
But if we were in a society that was just like more connected, I think that you would just try to impregnate all the attractive women.
Yeah. Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she would be having sex with multiple men because her hips, like she's got a nice hourglass figure because she was literally born to have kids.
Yeah, my boyfriend calls me a breeder.
Yeah, some girls are literally like their bodies were meant to have kids, but one guy is trying to hoard her in this society. It's not logical. It's not logical.
Right.
And then what does that lead to? Oh, like the possessiveness, and then that leads to like fucking killing people because they, you know what I'm saying? Because someone cheated.
Right.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So that's the way my brain thinks about it. Andrew Tate would disagree. He'd be like, no, let's go back to the Bible. Let's go back to the religious shit. And I'm like, bro, you talk shit about the Illuminati all day, but the Illuminati is the one that started these religions and lied to us about our history. And we think that shit goes back as many years as it does. But really, these are stories that they've just been like fucking repeating.
Right.
Over and over and over again to keep us like locked in Babylon. Because it's like they're repeating Babylon.
Right.
Over and over and over again. And just keeping us as fucking cattle.
So what would you say, because my stepson is obsessed with Andrew Tate, and I'm seeing just horrible behaviors. What would you say, just a quick little note so I can send this to him later, what would you say to someone who is an 18-year-old boy trying to find their way as like a masculine guy in this day and age? Like, what's your best little piece of advice that you can give somebody?
Find your purpose. And find your purpose and focus on that and give that 110%.
So find your craft and find your your source.
Find what you really want to do in life, and don't let anyone say you can't do that. It's that simple.
And so he has bad behaviors towards women because of Andrew Tate?
It's funny because I can't tell how much of it is an act. Like he acts like he's like, oh yeah, women's whatever, but he has this like very liberal girlfriend who's like super nice.
Okay.
So it's more of like he's got this like.
It might be like a troll. Like he's just joking. It's like a meme. It's a meme now.
Like he wants to be like very aggressive all the time.
Okay.
Like he walks in the house and I'm like, hey, I heard you're vaping, and he's like, fuck you, I do what I want. Like, and it's like, whoa, dude, chill the fuck out. Like he's trying to open a can of beans with a pocket knife, and I'm like, probably not a good idea. And he's like, how dare you? Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Is that just insecurity? Maybe I won't show him this now.
Yeah.
He's like overcompensating.
For what though?
Because he wants to feel that thing when that thing that you have when you're on your purpose, like and it's like you can't just get that from watching Andrew Tate.
Right.
You can't get that from anyone. It takes like It takes time of like building yourself up and like, you know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're trying to do. Like,
No, exactly.
Put women down.
They think that putting women down is the answer, but it's not. It's like, do something for yourself. Like, wake up, say, I'm gonna work out every fucking day this week. Like, you're gonna feel like that guy. To be that guy, you can't just, you know, like, you gotta be that guy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, one more thing about that. It's like, they're doing it with good intentions. It's like, no, we got to be like the leaders for women again, because look at all the morals going out the window, and like girls are just going crazy these days, and like, you know, like, oh, poor parents, like, oh no, like the girls are whatever. Well, women are like just finding their power again.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, I get it, like, oh, like men have gone, like, or they're all pussies now, so now women are going to be running crazy and stuff like that or whatever. So I understand where they're coming from. And so it's like, it's not like bad intentions when they're trying to be all like fucking masculine and dominant and leading women. And there is a balance too. So I'm not just saying like, oh, promote like her to be like a complete fucking slut, like whatever. Like, I'm not saying that either. But at the same time, like, don't fucking say that she's a slut because she likes her sexuality and she's having fun and she's learning about herself. She's learning more about herself, and she's, you know, finding her power again. But at the end of the day, girls, yeah, they tend to morph and shape to like a man in the environment. You know, like,
so true.
I
see that with your Instagram and stuff, and like the
for
stuff
real?
that you post. Like, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, you got to take control," and a girl will submit to you if you're being dominant, right? That's kind of like your
Wait,
thing?
this is me or is this Andrew Tate?
You.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're being like your true self as a man, like, she'll probably morph her mindset to you, because like girls change. Like, that's why girls are always like wondering, like, is this guy, does he want my body count to be higher or lower? And like, they won't answer the question right away. Mm-hmm. They try to feel out the guy. Like, is he judgmental this way or is he judgmental this way? Like, is he gonna think I'm inexperienced and then I'm actually low value as a woman? Mm-hmm. Or is he more like fresh and fit podcast, like gonna judge me and like, oh, my body count should be on my forehead? And like at the end of the day, like, I don't feel like girls feel like one way or another. They're just trying to like go throughout life and like have a pleasant experience, and they like men. And so what is this guy, like, how do I have a pleasant experience with this guy in front of me?
Right.
And like, he might be my type, he might be sexy, but his mindset might be like a little judgmental this way or judgmental this way. Let me just feel him out.
Yeah.
And then I'm a fucking, you know,
say whatever.
I'll be this version of myself for this guy.
Oh my God, Daniel.
You know what I'm saying?
I love you.
And so like it is what it is.
Yes.
And so
you're reading right now, so into it, so correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying one way's right, one way's wrong, but I'll tell you this much: when somebody's like, "This is the only way,"
they're wrong.
That's the fucking, like, that's the same thing Christianity did, and it starts all the wars.
Yeah.
That's literally what fucking ties us back to the repression, ties us back to, you know, hating fucking women or having a, you know, a non-pleasant experience with women, which is so fucked up because the red pill community, they're like the incel community, the black pill, red pill, they're like suffering.
Yeah.
They can't even fucking like girls anymore. And I'm like, yo, you guys don't understand. The women are like beautiful now. They're like, they're so fun. They're so free. They're so amazing to be around. Their feminine energy is like healing. And you don't get to experience any of that because you want her to be like only a freak for you and not for other guys. And like, you don't want her to have like, be in touch with her femininity. And like Andrew Tate, where did he get all this shit from? The Bible, which is literally from the people that he's talking shit on in the first place. He hasn't made the connection that religion came from the Illuminati that is controlling the Matrix.
Yeah.
He hasn't made that connection. And so they're just all like, oh, we need to go back to God. We need to go back to this. But like, no, you're God, bro. We're all God.
Yeah.
And there's no wrong answer here. And it's this repression, it's this pointing fingers that leads to you breaking the 10 Commandments anyways, where you're, you know what I'm saying? And then 10 Commandments, like adultery, marriage. Well, marriage is attached to the government.
Right.
So how could that be attached to God?
Right.
Oh, the government's under God. No, it's not. Look at what they're doing. They're doing all the evil shit.
Yeah.
So it's fucking retarded. They're not logical. They don't meditate. They don't think about this shit deeply. And then we have all the problems.
Right.
So I would, if I was to give your you said nephew, okay, if I was to give him a message, it would just literally be like, bro, go within, like get on your purpose, Stop like getting information outside of yourself from everybody, because everybody is brainwashed in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Feel how it feels. Does it feel right? Does it feel wrong? And put yourself in other people's shoes. Put yourself in the women's shoes. Like, if you were a girl, like, oh, would you want a dominant, 24/7 dominant man to lead you into slavery and boringness and fucking hating your life and resentment and repression? Or would you want a dominant man who's not fragile emotionally to lead you into a blissful life, higher vibrations, multiple orgasms, loving yourself, loving life, having fun 24/7, and just actually enjoying fucking life?
God.
You see the difference here? So yeah, divine masculine shit.
Oh man, that's so funny. Wow. I need to call my
You
therapist.
thought we were on some other
after
shit,
this.
huh?
Yeah.
You thought we were on some fuck shit.
No, I mean, I think that's really what this podcast is going to be very valuable for, is like kind of explaining better, because I think from the outside perspective, people who like, what's going on with Daniel and Daniel dominant, I think people look at it and they think like, you guys are objectifying women, and it's the complete fucking opposite.
Yeah,
truthfully,
exactly. Setting women free.
You're setting women free. You're respecting them. I hope you're nice to these girls. It seems like you are. Yeah,
we're very
super nice.
Yeah.
You didn't give me any water when I got here, but that's okay. I'm not sucking it, so I guess I get it.
Fucking fridge, bro.
It's all right.
We're working on getting a fridge.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think it's definitely, thank you. I think it's definitely going to be a good tool for your guys' little agency. So it is, it's OnlyFans management. So are you guys actually running the girls' pages, or is that something you don't want to talk about on here?
We're putting systems in place. We're building machines around these girls. We have employees in the Philippines.
Okay.
Virtual assistants. They handle whatever we throw at them. It could be chatting.
To help the girls maximize what they're doing.
Yeah. So every girl, like, we take them on. We create two to four accounts for them to maximize their profit.
Okay.
A lot of girls, some girls will come to us. They already have a page. And that's overwhelming to them. That's like the most they can handle, Mm-hmm. So we tell them immediately, okay, well, let's work on getting you at least one more account, just to double your income, because a free account can bring in just as much as a paid account.
More sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So, we set them up we get a whole system going, and then we automate it. So we have virtual assistants. They handle the chatting. The only thing the girl has to do is provide us content. So she shoots us content. That's it.
Another thing we've been working on is we made a course for other agency owners or aspiring agency owners. That's what we've been for the last month putting all of our energy towards, and like a YouTube channel where we explain that. Going back to what you were saying though, with how this agency is gonna fill in a market, something that's missing in the marketplace. So Fresh and Fit podcast, for example, is the red pill podcast that's blowing up right now. They always have Andrew Tate on and stuff like that, and it's all about exposing women.
Yeah, it's hateful.
Catching them off guard or making them look stupid. But at the end of the day, they're not accentuating the fact that women have a different kind of intelligence. It's not facts and figures like men, and we're different in that way. They have emotional intelligence, right? And it's not always try to fucking make them look bad and put them down and shame them to get views, right? So our podcast isn't simping though. It's not you know what I'm saying, just fucking bow down to women, feminists or whatever. It was just what I was saying before. It's just being a dominant guy who's not fragile and needs to fucking feel superior to women. It's no, accentuate what they have, their beauty, and then come together in a synergistic way, and fucking go to the next level. The OnlyFans shit is just a part of the way that we're going to empower ourselves and empower people around us and get some money, right? But like I said, we also are going to have sex coaching. We already have this dude, Anton, shout out to Anton. He already has a program that he made. I helped him make another program that's helping guys be more open-minded towards women and to help them get laid. Literally just to help them get laid. So we're going to have different programs behind the scenes that dudes can get access to in every aspect of their life. They might need help just getting along with women. They might need help with, okay, how do I give her 10 to 15 orgasms so she actually wants to come back and she won't cheat on me? And that's another thing, most of these dudes are bad with women. They don't know how to give them like an amazing sexual experience because they're judgmental towards women.
100%.
So they don't have that much experience with women because they judge themselves, because they listen to society. There's all this shit that needs to be like unwoven, like all these belief systems that are literally like woven into us to disempower us, to make us into 9-to-5 workers.
Right.
Like anything that resembles like tightening and just fucking rigidness and like stiff and, you know, only think like this, that shit is going to lead to one thing. It's like, you're literally going to pay taxes to the IRS. You're 9-to-5. You're fucking going to have no fun. You're not going to be smiling. Literally, like, happiness and being like in excitement is literally what's going to cure cancer in your body.
Right.
It's going to raise your vibration. And like most dudes can't see this shit, and then they just get angry at women because women don't like to be around that stuck energy.
Yeah.
They don't like to feel like, yo, like this dude's trying too hard. He like, what the fuck? He wants to like enslave me. He wants to like, you know, have all these rules that he sets and guidelines, and you gotta lay down the law on these girls and all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
It just feels dense. It's not fun. And then when she cheats on you, bro, she cheats on you like with fucking enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With fucking enthusiasm. I be seeing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's so happy when she's cheating on you. and it's like, I find it beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I find it fucking beautiful when I see like that look in her eyes, and I'm like, wow, she's been like trapped her whole life. Mm-hmm. And then here comes fucking Bloomy with his mindset of just like open, loving, giving to girls, like generosity, and then he fucks the shit out of her, gives her the best experience of her fucking life, and she doesn't feel judged at all. It's like a safe environment, and she feels fucking amazing. Wow. And then she's like, why can't this other guy who's just as attractive as Bloomy,
or more successful,
more money, whatever, maybe same size dick, but she doesn't have the mindset, doesn't have the actual love for women.
Yeah.
Substance,
yes, and then like love for women, like actual appreciation for women and like who they are deep down and what their desires are. And a lot of this from me came from like reading books like My Secret Garden. Mm-hmm. Like these books about women's fantasies, they're fucking gnarly fantasies that they have. Or Sex at Dawn, understanding that the reason why women moan is because they're trying to call other men because they want to get gangbanged. Oh. Crazy shit like this, right? Because that's going to increase their chances of getting pregnant, which is good. Like we want girls to get pregnant. We want, you know, the population to get fucking bigger and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyways.
And to breed.
Yeah, and then I read Domination Principle. That book really changed my life. So all these references I'm putting out right now could help men, but it's just really appreciating women for the fact that they are sexual creatures more than us. And I mean, you could just have sex with a girl and realize that she is down for another round and realize she's more sexually powerful than you. Like, damn, women are sexually dominant, if you will. Like, you know what I'm saying? They are superior sexually to men, and that's why we try to like semen retain or, you know, spread out our nuts that we have so we can have more masculine energy, so we're not constantly drained, right? But you know, at the end of the day, like, women are sexual beings. They can literally take 3-4 dicks in them at the same time. They can go 20 fucking 100 rounds and still get wet. And the more they have sex, the happier they are, the more that they're going to have positive energy around you, which heals you after a long day at work as a man or, you know, on your purpose building. So then it's just like an upward spiral together. But it comes down to stop being fragile.
Yes.
Stop feeling like, you know, like I need to control her. What is she doing when I'm away? You know, like one of the girls that we had a threesome with, I've been like, you know, going to her house and like really connecting with her like on a deeper level. And I was like, oh, by the way, she was like, I want to come see you again. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely. You're going to fuck Andrea. You're going to fuck Bloomy again. And then she was like, oh, I don't know if it might be confusing for me, but it's just the vibe that I put it out there. Like, oh, by the way, I'm not like cuffing you. Like, you could still fucking have Andrew. Like, you could still experience that. Like, cause you know what I'm saying? I have a different shaped dick. I'm a little bit shorter than Andrew. He fucks different than me a little bit. it's different experience, and I want her or any girl in my life to have those fucking experiences where they're at their highest potential, because I want to be at my highest potential. And so, like, why the fuck can I live an amazing life but not her? Why the fuck would she not resent me if I was trying to live a better life than her?
So do you feel like there is ever going to be a point for you where monogamy is a thing? Either one of you? Do you think either one of you will ever be monogamous?
Not traditionally, no.
No.
Not in the way that, society is like shaped us to believe is normal. Do you
think monogamy is natural on any level?
I think people can like find someone that they operate well with. I do, however, think like at the end of the day, in the back of both their minds, they're thinking about like someone else.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay. In the book, The Sexual Practices of Kadushka, they literally like dial in this exact thing. It's like there's all these different ways that you can relate with another human, different relationships that you can have, and every experience is valuable, and everybody needs to experience different things at different parts of their life or lifetimes, if we're talking reincarnation or whatever. Like, you need to experience maybe this life or whatever. But the one thing they said about monogamy is it's only for masters. Like, most people are not in love with themselves enough or mature enough to actually love another person and only that person. And it has to come from a place of no possession.
That makes so much sense.
And so, and they were saying only 1% of the fucking people are on that level of mastery.
Wow.
And so here we are, the 99 fucking percent down here trying to be fucking masters and just running into fucking problem after problem after problem after problem. And we're not even growing or learning from it because we're leaving out all the other experiences that we need to have. There's like a huge pie chart that they had in the book. Wish I had it right now. But it breaks down like each one is very important and you need to feel it out. But we're worried about what other people think about us, our parents judging us, or we need to fit into society. And we don't do what our heart's fucking telling us.
Right.
And we're not going out there and actually living and experiencing. We're just trying to fucking fit in and hope like nobody's going to put us down.
Right.
Right.
Hope nobody calls us out.
Nobody calls us out. So, yeah. And like, and then we're just stuck in a monogamous relationship that we're not ready for. And we're not even doing it right.
Right.
And then there's no fucking tutorial. They don't teach you in school. And it's just like all like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And then in some places of the world, they have arranged marriages.
Right.
And like in those places of the world, they can't even show their bodies. Mm-hmm. And you get your head chopped off if you fucking cheat. And like, so it's still a very dense world that we live in that kind of way. And so like the West, to me, is like leading the charge of balance. Like they're balancing that shit out. But I'm not saying that, the world would be a better place if everybody did OnlyFans. Well, if everybody did OnlyFans, you couldn't sell porn or you couldn't sell the OnlyFans experience anymore,
right?
Because it wouldn't be valuable. It's a little sweet spot, a little moment in history, like a little blip. This shit happened when the Roman Empire was like collapsing too.
Right.
Like sex was the main spectacle.
Right.
So it's just what it is, and it's not good or bad. We go in cycles as humans. And we're at this part of the cycle. I don't want to swim upstream. I want to just be a part of the good part of the balance and make sure people don't go too far into, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been repressed for so long, they just go crazy, indulging and go way off the rails.
Yeah.
And then bad things happen. So
that's true.
It's like let go. It's not that big of a deal.
Take your hands off the wheel.
Yeah, like you don't need to make any of this a big deal. Sex is not a big deal. Like they made it seem like it was. Money's not that big of a deal. It's just an exchange of value. Like everybody relax, and you don't need to be the fucking dominant alpha male that fucking puts the fucking law down on all these girls and sets the frame every time. Like, she better fucking respect me. And like that shit's cringe. Like that shit's fucking dense energy. It's not cool. And so we're just setting that frame of just like how men like could be, and we're just vibing. We just out here vibing.
Man, you guys, this has been such a great experience for me just to hear you guys talk, and because like I said, this is good clarification for your brand. So I'm super excited.
That's why I wasn't too upset when my Instagram got deleted, because I feel like I was putting things out there, but it was getting misinterpreted.
Right. So it was kind of like a cleansing.
Yeah, in a way. And so now it's like, okay, well, how can we be seen for like who we actually are.
Yeah, and the message you want to
convey. A lot of people aren't gonna look past like certain things. They're just gonna see like, oh, you're objectifying women. Yeah. They're not even gonna think twice. Which I understand. Like, so.
Yeah. I mean, some girls don't want to be recorded, and so we don't record them. Or if we did record them, it doesn't see the light of day kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we respect that. Like any girl that you see is like, she's down with that because she doesn't have like dense energy against that either. And it is mostly just marketing, but it's also just like, look, we're having fun. Like, like there's nothing like wrong about this, and like, we're not judging her. She's not judging us. We're just like in a safe environment having fun.
Right.
And so that's what it is. But some girls might look at that and be like, oh, well, like, why do you have to show it? Well, it's the same mindset of like, oh, sex should only happen behind closed doors. Like, that is literally labeling sex as something that is something to be ashamed of or guilty about,
right.
Which is a lower frequency and vibration, which only is going to lead to resentment, and you're going to be stuck in your life. Like, your chakras are not flowing. You're not going to manifest anything you actually want. Like, your dreams, all that, the desires, you're going to manifest them in a weird way. You're going to have failures. You're going to have, like, all this shit where you're, like, dense energy because you're coming from this place of your sexuality, which is the most important fucking fundamental foundational thing of your life, is something to be guilty of. So that puts a block in every other area of your life.
Wow.
And then, so that's what we're not trying to do. But a lot of people are just confused because it's so polarizing from where society's sitting at right now. But it is the marketing aspect too. Like, it's polarizing, so we get attention.
Yeah.
And bringing attention to the message itself.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm stoked about this fucking podcast.
I'm stoked about it too.
I'm stoked about this shit.
I want to be here all the time. This is my favorite thing.
Yeah,
this is
welcome.
awesome. Yeah. I loved this.
Come through whenever.
And I do have to go home because I'm breastfeeding and my tits are going to explode. But
yeah.
I'm so grateful that you guys let me have this moment with you. The clarification. Now I can tell people on the internet that he's not on drugs. He's just enlightened, man.
Yeah,
so I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I hope you chop this up and use all the cool pieces and tag me.
Yeah, we're just on a mission right now.
Yeah,
so
I respect it. I like it.
That's why I told you, you'd asked where I'd been and I couldn't really explain it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I like this. This is a good place. I like Daniel. I can't wait to tell my friends. People are always like, "What happened to the guy that drinks pee?" I was like, "I don't know. I gotta check back in with him."
Yo, what happened with the episode? Because I never saw it.
It's on there.
It's on YouTube.
It's
on YouTube. Oh, yeah, the whole thing unedited is on there. I think Andrew put the whole hour on there. Yeah,
I didn't know this. I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's good. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm like afraid to.
Yeah, I feel like you've changed so much since then.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
You just seem lighter. You seem less like. How do I put this in a way that's not gonna? You seem more just more chill. Okay. More chill.
Yeah.
Like same vibe, but like just more relaxed. Less less
less
intense.
to prove.
Less to prove. Okay. You seem more nourished. You're not vegan anymore, so maybe that's what it is.
Not semen retained.
Not semen retained. Yeah, you seemed high energy, like kind of stressed, but like it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little manic. Yeah.
Release.
Yeah.
Like I need to fucking release.
Yeah, you seem better now.
I released last night. I've been releasing.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Trying to find the balance though,
Well, thank you so much. Yeah. What?
Real quick, do you want to react to some of our videos?
Very quickly, I can do a few.
Let's run it.
What videos? Which ones?
Just like a video we did last night.
Oh,
quick reaction video?
Yeah,
okay.
like a reaction.
Okay.
We can maybe put this part on Patreon or OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So
what are your... the video right here when you can see
the reaction. It'll be blurred though.
Okay. Yeah.
So what do you think when you see this video?
Is that a bruise on her inner thigh?
Yeah, we were.
This is what we've been trying to figure out. Where do you think that bruise came from?
From your hand hitting repeatedly that spot.
No. I didn't bruise her.
Oh.
On the record, I did not bruise that.
Did you ask her?
No.
Why not?
Bring it up.
Should bring it up.
Where do you think that came from?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like a cunt punch gone wrong.
Yeah. It's like a sexual bruise, huh?
Yeah.
Pain?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So let's.
But the squirting was cool.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, a girl could squirt like crazy.
Is that like? Yeah, that's like a thing.
This was after retaining for 2 weeks.
Okay. Who's that?
That's Daniel.
Okay.
So what would
Always
you
wanna
rate
see
that?
Daniel's wiener,
What
not
would
gonna
you?
lie.
Oh, okay. Oh,
What'd you say?
we'll wait till the next video.
Yeah, next video.
Yeah.
That was
Rate
like
the nut.
80s porn. That was good.
Yeah.
Hey,
I've never done a facial, so
Ever?
Oh, I love
no.
How is that possible?
I mean, it's happened, but it's never been like, oh, I'm gonna do this.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I did that.
Yeah, you did it.
But rate
That was
what
done
would
did.
you rate the nut?
I'd say that was like an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take
Just
that.
because she looked like she was having a good time.
loved-
And a lot of times when
yeah.
you see those facial videos, the girls are like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and it's like
Hey,
kind of
show me
sad.
creep eye.
That's the next
That's
video.
the next one because she wanted to see that.
I gotta see it.
This is the last
Don't say
video.
names.
Last video.
Who's the son?
Probably one of the biggest nuts I've seen come out of a nice young lady.
All right. You have to also give a little dick rating.
Oh my God. Not what I expected, Daniel.
Oh, he's packing.
That's all I'm going to say.
He's packing. But just look at the velocity of.
Yeah, the Kegel. She's got strong Kegel muscles.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can tell.
Oh,
She's
I missed
pushing it out. She's got a nice butt too. That's great. I love that.
What would you rate that?
That's a
video
10.
for? That's a 10.
That's a 10.
Ooh,
That's one of
I
your.
think-
That should be your top five.
I think we're gonna have to
like
wrap
you need
it
to
up on
gift
that.
You know, you
Yeah.
just like rip. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I like that one.
Wait, would you say it again?
Like make it like a GIF.
Like
you know
a
what I
gift.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Reddit.
Boner Mountain.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um.
Boner Mountain, not my favorite of
Okay,
your guys'
okay.
work.
That's
Will not
respectable.
lie.
Okay.
You wasn't you.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it wasn't me that you didn't like. I got
Well, you didn't seem like you were having too much fun, but maybe that's just the way I interpreted it.
I
you
didn't
know?
like her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was still being generous.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
She seemed like she
was.
was like,
Yeah.
This is my dad's property.
Well, yeah.
You know what I
that
mean?
was,
She was. I think she was taking some shit.
definitely.
that was one of
Yeah.
our first little.
But it was
video
cool. The
adventures.
cinematography was cool. I
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah. The story, like we were
Story
working
was
out. We were
story
working
was
out some
fun.
kinks.
It was very porn. I liked
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it was good. You don't want to get too complicated. You don't want to layer the characters too much. so.
exactly.
Boom. Well, there it is.
But yeah, I
Thank
think,
you so much. Loved
let's-
it.
Let's wrap it up on
Yeah.
that.
that was a good
and,
fucking ending, bro.
Yeah.
That was a good
And
ending.
we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah,
Come back,
thank you.
please.
Peace.